ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Learning Games, the Bachelor Edition. In today's episodes, our participants are going to be learning a lot of highlights from the previous seasons of The Bachelor and using different strategies to try to memorize as much as they can. The contest is going to have two different stages. The first one is going to be a testing right after they have memorized all the information. And in the second round, they will be testing a week later to see how much they can remember. Contestants are really fighting for the ultimate prize, knowledge acquisition, and of course, the coveted 7. Let's see how they go. All right, participant number 1, can you tell us a little bit about the strategy that you will be using today?
So the main strategy I've been using is just going through all the notes from The Bachelor, all the highlights, just going through, highlighting them all, making sure I'm rereading them over and over again, just highlighting.
Yeah, that seems pretty straightforward. And I mean, there's a lot of color, so that should be fun to read and easy.
Yeah, it's all going into my head. I feel like I know it all already. I'm really happy with my learning technique.
Number 2, tell us a little bit about the strategy that you will be using today.
Okay, so I've got my flashcards so that I can test myself, so I can recall the information and then receive feedback.
Okay, awesome. That seems a bit more complicated than participant number 1. So how do you think that's going to work out?
I think it's going to go well because that way I'm testing myself and I'm recalling the information.
So our two participants have very different techniques and strategies to study all this information, but what do the experts say?
Participant 1 is choosing a less effortful technique, but research has shown that if the learner makes no effort to structure what they are learning, this is not effective for learning, especially in the long term for complex information. So participant 2 is taking advantage of the testing effect. This retrieval practice is believed to create a better retrieval structure in their minds, and this will allow them to easier access this information in their memory. We can see that participant 2 is actively producing this information in their mind. They're recalling the information, testing themselves with the flashcards, and they're receiving feedback when they turn the flashcard over and look at the correct answer. So I expect, and when we look at the research, that participant 2 will probably recall more about The Bachelor. Here's the research. In their study, Rodiger and Karpik had participants reading over a scientific passage. Participants either reread this passage or they were tested repeatedly. We can see from the results that after 5 minutes, repeated study was better and had immediate benefits, but after 1 week, it was actually the repeated testing group that had a better learning. So we can see here that there are short-term versus long-term benefits for the testing effect. Support for the testing effect has also been found in these following studies.
Participants are now studying and trying to remember as much information as possible. From what we can see, participant number 1 has an excellent technique. That highlighter is just gliding across the page. We can see a lot of color and she's mastering all of the highlighting. Participant number 2, on the other hand, seems to be struggling a little bit. We could almost see the smoke coming out of her brain. She really is working hard trying to recall the information and just produce the information by herself. So let's see if that is going to work out for her in the long run. All right, participants, are you ready for your first round? Okay, so which bachelor famously changed his mind, dumped the winner, and left with the runner-up?
Blake Harvey.
Good. Which bachelor chose no one?
Honey Badger.
What type of livestock animal did Leroy present a bachelorette Georgia Love with on the first encounter?
Donkey.
Yeah. Who put us all off chocolate for a month after taking a chocolate bath on the first date?
Richie and Alex.
What did contestant Abby Chatfield say to astrophysicist Bachelor Matt
I'm a
Abby?
Gemini.
All right, contestants, are you ready for the second round?
Yeah.
What did self-proclaimed princess contestant Lorena get on her date with Blake Garvey and went viral?
A cake.
No.
A Danish street pie.
Yes. What are Maddie J and Laura Byrne up to now?
Engaged, 2 kids making TikTok videos.
Yes. What are the names of the daughters?
Marley May and Lola.
How long does it take to style Usher's hair?
3 hours.
And who had a scandalous group date kiss with Jimmy the pilot, shocking the contestants to their core?
Lily.
And we have a clear winner. Theresa the tester has taken home the prize today and has shown us again that the testing effect works. So by working through those desirable difficulties and trying to generate the information, by testing herself, seeking feedback through the flashcards, and trying to engage actively with the material, she has been able to remember as much information as possible. So good on you, Theresa, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Learning Games.